I think you judge yourself a little bit too much for not starting as fast as you think you should. We live in this culture right now where it was needed. A lot of us have been procrastinating, maybe stagnant for too long. But it got to the point where, hey, if you have an idea, do it right now. Get going, start, jump, 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 launch, 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 launch. It's a lot. And we often forget about the beauty of an idea brewing, the beauty of setting an intention and being in between chapters of idea and making that first step. The beauty in becoming, you understand? Like before anything begins, there is a moment, right? It's quiet, it's private, it's invisible to the world, like it's just within you. That's why I always say, don't worry if they're judging you. They're often just judging you what they can see, not what is in your heart. But that space before you start, the space before the first word is written, before the first step is taken, we don't value that space. Before the first chapter even announces itself, it's in those moments where I believe like some of the greatest shifts are happening within us. That is truly the beginning, but nothing around us has yet changed. This happened for me at a time when I was at like my low. I was at like my lowest of my low. And in hindsight, when I look back, I'm like, sometimes your lowest of your low is like one of the most beautiful spaces. It is beautiful how human beings, we can alchemize such tragedy or rough situations and transmute them into like powerful stories and realize we reclaim our power and like, wow, I actually really needed that. It's interesting, isn't it? But I was at the lowest of my low, and I've told this story before, but some of you are new here, and us walking up this hill, just assessing and reflecting on my whole life. And I'm just like, what am I doing? I need a change. And I'm listening to one of my favorites, Bob Marley, the song Rastaman Live Up. And he just says in the song, don't give up. Rastaman, live up. Don't forget your culture. And in that moment, I realized, man, sometimes all you got to do is get back to you. And in that moment, I said, I am going to rapidly change and transform. And I felt it like it was like, whoa, but it took time. I didn't know how. I didn't know what my first step was. It's not like everything just changed instantly. No, it took years. It took time. But as soon as I had that idea, that was equivalent to taking a seed and planting it into the soil and then having the faith that it will grow. And we struggle with those spaces because there's no applause, there's no momentum, and really there's just a subtle feeling of, I can't keep living the way I was. I can't stay stagnant. I want to do this, I want to do that. But that moment right there, I think we don't see the beauty in it enough. The moment in becoming, that we are becoming, even before you take that physical first step, even when you are in your mind just brewing about something. We don't talk about the unseen enough, the unseen stretch from where our spirit has moved forward, but your life hasn't really caught up yet. You know what I'm saying? Like you've outgrown maybe what you were, who you are, but you haven't stepped into what you are fully becoming, but you can feel it. And this can cause a confusion. It can be like waiting for a train that's not coming. And then people are around you saying, hey, why haven't you started yet? Why haven't you started yet? And you may feel late. You may feel lost. But in fact, you might actually just be early. You might be early. Sometimes we rush this part of our journey. And I think it's like one of the most beautiful parts. Sometimes we pressure ourselves to act fast, fix fast, and move fast. And sometimes that is what we're supposed to do. But sometimes we're just supposed to brew too. Like, what if the pause that you're in and you're like, oh my God, I'm stuck in procrastination. What if that's actually just part of the preparation? If you just shift your perspective and be like, that's a part of my preparation right now. What if the silence before the song is still a part of the music, right? What if the moment you decide to become, even without the evidence, is the moment everything truly begins? It's like if you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel. To me, the YouTube channel starts when you first are like, I want to start a YouTube channel. I don't think anybody has said, I want to start a YouTube channel and started it that same day. You think about it, you brew about it. Oh, what is it going to be about? How do I want to express myself? Oh man, are people going to judge me? Oh, damn, do I really want to be seen? What if I get 1 million followers and I lose privacy in my life? Like, you're going through the motions in the mind, and that part is beautiful. I think we should romanticize that a little bit more. Romanticize the part where you're about to start. Don't demonize yourself for it, because what happens? You feel all this regret, you feel all this guilt, and then you avoid even exploring the idea because you're afraid you won't start, and then you're going to feel that pain again. Instead, no, the desire, having the idea is already a part of the becoming. Like, I've had ideas I've been working on in the back of my mind for so long. And if other people knew about these ideas, they would be like, HINDZ, you're slacking. You're slacking. But I'm like, you don't understand. We are brewing on this. It's coming into fruition. Don't worry. Like, we are testing the seasons. We are getting everything in alignment. And some of us make excuses. So what I am talking about takes intuition. It takes reflection to make sure we're not tricking ourselves. But in reality, every idea, every desire you have doesn't need to be started today. You understand? There's timing to everything. You know, I was driving by the other day, and I drive by this house quite often. And it's like an abandoned building at this point. It's worn out, it's faded, it's untouched. But one day, this is probably like after a year, I finally noticed that, like, oh, there's a sign on the house. And it's like one of those building proposal signs where they had to let the neighborhood know, like, hey, we want to tear this down and build something new. And the structure hasn't changed, but something beneath it has. Someone has declared this is not the final form. Something new will emerge here. But there's no construction workers yet, no scaffolding, no noise, no new lumber. But the future had already arrived quietly in the blueprint. And a lot of us, that is where we are. Abandoned in ourselves, right? Some of us may be feeling broken or stagnant, but we have set an idea, a new blueprint for ourselves. But because we lack patience, we regret that we haven't brought it into full fruition. And that starts to wreak havoc on our self-worth. We have to understand what becoming is. Becoming is a process. It's not just a final result. It begins in that inner shift. And I think we should romanticize that inner shift. When I made that intention, walking up that hill, listening to that Bob Marley song, Rasta Man, Live Up, Never Give Up. Go check it out. One of my favorite songs. When I think about going on that journey, and I think about everything that I did, I never actually tell many stories about the actions I took. I always come back and tell you about that one moment where I set that intention in my spirit, in my mind, listening to that song, and I'm like, I'm going to transform. Why do I do that? Because that was the most important part. That is when I truly changed. I took action after, but the action still took time. I had to figure it out. But that is becoming. And you are becoming. It's beautiful. You understand? You are becoming, and I love it. Like, you should love that for yourself. It begins in that inner shift. Some of us are walking around like that house right now that I saw, same on the outside, but deep within ourselves, we are different. We may look the same. People may perceive our situation to be the same, but everything is changing within us. You have submitted a proposal to life. You're ready for something new, but nothing outside has moved yet, and that's okay. The only times we feel like it's not okay is because we're comparing ourselves and we think people are judging us, and we want to show and prove, and that makes sense. We want to have our shit together. I get it. But becoming starts before becoming is visible. Romanticize that space a little bit more, because that is where you're going to conjure up some joy and motivation. That is a sacred space, you understand? Sometimes it's slow, but it's reshaping you. And again, you may not be behind. You may not be failing. You're in the blueprint phase. And that blueprint phase is beautiful, you understand? You're thinking, you're designing a new life for yourself. You're brewing on it. You're making sure that it feels right. The world doesn't celebrate that part, especially the internet. Just start, just do it right now. And again, that is necessary as well in some seasons. Some of us need to just start. Some of us need to jump or launch, but some of us, we don't need to jump or launch right now. Some of us, we are brewing and we understand that certain things blossom in certain seasons. And we are preparing and we are getting into season. And even if we have been in our mind a little bit too much, that is the process in becoming. Every creative does it. Every business person does it. Every entrepreneur does it. Everybody does it. We pause, we reflect, we listen. Some of us, we just need to honor that quiet movement within ourselves, right? Honor it. Oh my God, I'm in this season of where I'm not quite where I was. I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I'm cool with this, you understand? I'm cool with exploring with what's going on within me. I've set the intention. Now I have the faith and the knowing. I believe in, tell yourself, I believe in myself. I believe in myself to bring this to life. I can't doesn't mean I won't. You might not be able to do something right now in this season. Why? Your hands are a little bit tied. You know, I was going to launch a different thing on April 1st, another product. And then something changed. Ended up moving. I'm moving right now. I'm packing. My grandmother died. I also got to fly to Jamaica. I can't doesn't mean I won't. Just because you can't do something doesn't mean that you won't. It means that you realign and you realize some goals shift a little bit, some plans shift a little bit, but you are still becoming. The thing is, we lose patience when we lose knowing. What is patience? Patience is knowing. When you know something is for you, when you know something is happening, when you know something will be, you can be patient. You know your time is coming. If you know in your mind that you are a strong person, you are resilient, that you have been through things in your life and you have proved to yourself you know how to pick yourself back up and get going, and you're versatile and you can pivot when need be. You know, you're like, you know what? I'm going to be successful. The things I want in my life, I know they're going to happen. That is when patience comes into your spirit, because you are in knowing. You know what's going to happen. But when you are uncertain, when you doubt yourself, when you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know, like you don't believe in your abilities, that is when you lack patience and you need proof. You want to see it in your life, so you don't need patience. You just want it to happen right now because you're uncomfortable in the becoming. You're uncomfortable in those between stages, when in reality, I think we should romanticize it a little bit more. You know, like I've been thinking about certain things I've been working on that nobody knows about. And I'm just like, I'm so excited about them. And I'm so excited that even some of them have actually just been in my mind for like a year, exploring them in the mind, obviously in my notes and, you know, whatever. But like, we really just been brewing on it. And now I'm like, oh, we're in the season where those things are now coming into life. You understand? Taking that action, the physical action on it now. Now imagine if I just judged myself, told myself, man, you can't do nothing. You just procrastinate. You're just too stagnant, and dig the hole. This is what we do. We dig a hole so deep and we bury ourselves into the ground. So not only do we have to figure out how we're going to take action on that idea, we have to pick our self-worth up off the ground as well, making it extremely hard for ourselves. Some of us terrorize ourselves a little bit too much. And we need to give that grace for ourselves. We can still be accountable, but give ourselves that grace as well. We live in a time where stillness is misjudged. If you're not producing, you're procrastinating. If you're not acting, you're avoiding. But that's not true. It's just not true, you understand? It's not true. And you know that deep within your spirit. Not every silence is fear. Some silences are full of faith, you understand? Some seasons of silence are the soil doing its work beneath the surface. Imagine putting a seed into the ground and then judge it, and then the other trees judging it like, haha, where's your fruit? You're literally becoming, you understand? You're in a season of becoming. You're beneath the soil, and that's beautiful. You may be in a season where you don't need to rush your process right now. You just need to honor it. You don't need to dig up the seed just to see if it's growing. Are you growing it? No. You trust what you have planted with your intention. You water it with your attention and you let it unfold, you understand? And this is a part of your life. This not yet moment, it's not a mistake, it's a message, right? It's like a reminder that your inner world often shifts long before your outer world reflects it. It starts in here. And you're the one that's going to need to be able to honor that, because the world is not going to celebrate that. The world is not going to be like, oh, you have an idea you've been sitting on for 5 months, loser. You're not acting. You're some things you're going to have to keep to yourself, because some people ain't going to understand your timelines or your rhythm. A lot of people don't understand my rhythms. They're like, bro, what are you doing right now? Why aren't you doing this? I'm like, becoming, you understand? What is patience? Patience is knowing. Start to step into knowing. Sometimes all you got to do is get back to you. Start to believe in your abilities again. Start to believe in your visions. If you had the vision, you have it for a reason. You see it, now you feel it, so you go and you achieve it. There's also like fear in this season, in this part. And for some of us, it's not the fear of failure, but it is the fear of being seen while still becoming, right? What if I'm not ready? What if I'm not good enough yet? What if people can't see or understand what I'm doing? But fear is a part of the becoming as well. It's just like an ingredient, a tiny ingredient, you understand? Every voice you admire, every individual you look up to, question whatever they are doing before they did it, you understand? Every YouTuber questioned themselves before they did it. That is a part of becoming. Even doubting yourself a little bit, having a little bit of doubt, questioning, that's a part of becoming. Now, you don't live in doubt. You don't let the doubt override belief. The doubt is just resistance, right? So you doubt, and then you affirm to yourself, no, we can do this. And then you raise your confidence, you raise your belief, and you are becoming. And now things are in, but it's already in motion, right? Some of us, again, you demonize yourself a little bit too much. Yeah, you didn't start. That's okay. Guess what? You did start. You started in the mind. You're in the mind. You're brewing on the idea. You're exploring. You're learning. Don't worry about it. Have faith in your abilities that you are becoming. We need to start to create more of a joyful, playful, excitement attitude versus this attitude of, if I don't do this, I'll be a failure, or, oh, what if I, we have this like frantic anxiety attitude to like creating a life. We get to create a life. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is it to create a life? Have excitement about that. How beautiful is it to explore and fail a little bit, feed that failure as a necessary nutrient for your foundation, pick yourself back up, go again. It's a joyful experience. You don't need to be fearless to begin. You just need to be willing, right? We know that. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a promise to yourself. I won't abandon this version of me. I won't abandon myself. While you're in that space, while you are still forming, you are still becoming. You may still be in the mind with it. You might feel an urge to build something. I remember for me, I sold my camera. I made that intention that I wanted to transform while I was walking up that hill, listening to that song, Rastaman Live Up. Made an intention I want to transform. I sold my camera. And a few years later, just naturally living, brewing in the mind, becoming, I just felt like I had so much energy. I was like, I got to do something with it. It wasn't forced. Like, I was just like, I have to do something with this energy. I got to build something. I have to create something. It wasn't like, oh my God, I need to build a personal brand. And oh my God, no, it's like, I have to, because there's so much into me, right? That's what happens when you are brewing. You're creating the energy to pour into yourself, to pour into that very thing. And I love that space, because you will feel the urge to build something, not just for the world, for yourself, a space to begin again, right? A new environment, a new quiet home for the new ideas growing within you. They will naturally pour out of you. That's why I've always appreciated having different tools like our sponsor of the day, Squarespace, because when I'm ready to start, they help me start. Start messy, start small, start before I'm even ready. And I've used Squarespace to sketch my visions before I even knew what they would become. A website, a landing page, a quiet offering. I've created many websites of different like business ideas or like creative endeavors I want to do, and just made the website to see, is this something I want to explore? You know, you know what I mean? And if you're in that place now, whether you're feeling the urge to build, to express, to make something that reflects who you are becoming, Squarespace is the space to go when you're ready to start quietly. It's an all-in-one platform where you can create a beautiful site, set the tone for your own work, and let your ideas evolve in real time. Make bookings, connect with clients, and handle everything from one place, all on your own terms. And with Squarespace Blueprint, starting doesn't feel overwhelming. You choose a curated layout and styling system, and it guides you into a site that already feels like you. Squarespace also has Fluid Engine, their reimagined editor. It's like creative freedom on tap. You can drag, drop, stretch, and shift until everything just flows. No coding, no friction, just pure expression. And when the words won't come, lean into Squarespace AI. This helps you get your message out. It's intuitive and it respects your tone. It's like having a creative partner that knows your voice. So if you are in a season of becoming and want to make that next step, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/HINDZ to save 10% off your first purchase. I want you to let go of the myth that you're late. Let go of the pressure to bloom before your roots are ready. You're not lost. You're just early. You're in here. It's a new place, it's a new phase, it's an unpaved road. Early to the peace you've been preparing for, early to the new place of the position you're stepping into, early to the version of you who no longer lives by survival, but by your soul. You're ready to thrive. And when it's time to move, you will know. You will know. The time to move isn't always every single day, I'm telling you. Right? The advice of just start every single day. Just start. Idea, do it now. It's like, listen, sometimes you're brewing on things and that's cool. When it's time to build, you will rise without the force. You'll have the energy and you'll get into it because the foundation is already there. Because you've been preparing in silence. You've been brewing on it because you've honored your blueprint in your own timeline, you understand? And you've been reflecting, so you know when it's time to start. You know if you've been truly procrastinating, and you know when to give yourself grace that, yeah, I've already started in here. Just because it's not visible for other people to see it doesn't mean it's not real. I can see it. I'm starting to feel it. So guess what? Now we're going to achieve it. So wherever you are right now, if nothing is happening yet, but everything is stirring inside of you, that is a beautiful place to be. If you can feel it, but can't explain it, that's the moment before the moment. And I love that space. That's the beginning before the beginning, right? Before what other people would deem to be the beginning, you've already had your beginning, right? And it's in here and it's beautiful. You're not late. You're on time for a version of you that takes time, right? For a version of you that takes time. So breathe deep. Move with intention. Move with intention. Don't be in this rat race. Don't be judging yourself, beating yourself into the ground, comparing your timeline to everybody else. Understand what your life is, what you want for your life. Brew on that. Explore that. Experiment, you understand? Take action, fail, fall back. Go again, but have joy with it. And walk like you remember who you are. Because sometimes all you gotta do is get back to you. And if you're in a season where you feel like you're in the in-between, or you're in the moment before the moment, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful space to be. You are becoming. You are becoming. It's a process. It's a journey. Let's honor it. Let's honor it. And you done know in hindsight, everything is going to be more than all right.